50 gallons. Very windy today. Because the place where I'm going over here is 532 a gallon, and where I'm going in Wisconsin it's 480. Okay, before I forget, I need to write down. For this one. So 40, I think it was 4720 gallons. So this is Walcott, Iowa, and today's May 30th, 22. So Monday after the Memorial Day. And I left Denver Saturday, and wanted to show you something interesting. Never saw such great fuel mileage.
Head south, then turn left.
Okay, liters. Here we go. Wait a second. So 32 is 7.3. But 25 liters per 100 kilometers is 9.4. So that's what I had. 9.4 miles a gallon at 25 liters per 100 kilometers. Only between Denver and I-80. When I was on I-76, you know, going northeast, there was a slight tailwind, and despite some elevation, oh actually yeah, probably that's why, because we were coming down, you know, from over 5,000 feet we were coming down, and so I could not believe it. Like, I was hardly burning any fuel. 9.4 for this truck. I still weigh 60,000 empty, right? But then as soon as I got on 80 and I started driving east at the same 56 miles per hour, you know, 91, 92 clicks an hour, like super slow, just to try to conserve fuel, it went up to 30, which is 7.8, then it became 31, 7.5, and now the last time I checked before I shut down yesterday was 7.3. so that should be loaded like some of these trucks, right, with the drive-in fully loaded with a small engine. But again, I'm 60,000 pounds, right? And so I left Denver Saturday, didn't do too many miles on Saturday. Then Sunday, yesterday, I drove all day, and I managed to only manage still like 8.5 hours, no, almost 9 hours I drove yesterday, but because I drove slow, so it took me pretty much all day to get here, and it was so windy, it was not even funny. I saw an accident. One lane was shut down because a pickup truck with a small trailer flipped over, and it went like this, you know, it was driving that way, all of a sudden it's facing this way, the trailer is on the side, and another pickup with an RV went into the grass. And there's cops, ambulances, you know. I wanted to record, but my camera was in my bag. But there was a big accident, and I got lucky that it just happened before me, just minutes before, you know, I arrived there. So there was no tow trucks, nothing, right? But as soon as tow trucks would show up, they would block, and there's only 2 lanes in there in each direction. They would block the entire freeway to lift these, you know, the guy in the grass, and then flip this one upright. And instead I probably spent I don't know, 10-15 minutes in the jam. Okay, so that's the plan now. I'm here just west of Davenport. It tries to send me on this crazy, I don't like this, it wants me to go on this 61. Maybe it's a good idea, but you know, what if there's Dubuque on 61 and it says it's 397 kilometers and it'll take me 3 hours 54 minutes. Well, of course that's for a car, but there's another way here, 1 minute slower,
head south then turn left,
but it's 25 kilometers more. So that always tells me that that's a better route, you know. It's pretty much the same time, but it's 25 clicks, or I don't know, 12 miles longer. But there are tolls there, but I'd rather do that. I'd rather stay on the freeway. So that's 88 and then just go north. Like that's where I'm loading, north of Milwaukee. So yeah, I don't want to go on those local roads. You know, if I knew the area, I would do that, but you never know, right? So because this thing, it's not a truck GPS. Like, and this, by the way, this is a situation where it would be nice to have a
Turn left toward Sinking Street, then turn left onto Sinking Street.
it would be nice to have a GPS for a truck, because right now I don't have permits, right? I don't have a route. I have to come up with a route myself. And why I wanted to get here is because these guys are always open. Well, I'm talking about service. And my truck is due for oil change. And actually I wanted to do it earlier, but couldn't find a, you know, cheap place. Like, I know these guys in the States, for me it's always cheaper than in Canada. And so I came yesterday, was too tired. I said, screw this, I'll do it in the morning. So I'll do it in the morning. Like here, I cannot go straight because there's a big hump in there, so I always go like this. What you saw me do before. And so I went there, went to this fuel building, got coffee, used the bathroom, and then I went over there. So you guys open today? And he shows me, he points at his counter, and he has like a lineup, maybe 6 or 7 orders. What? I don't see any trucks inside. They were not yet working. But he says, well, oh, that's a nice beam trailer. Oh, look at this monster. 3 plus 3 plus 3. That's like a 75 ton. Now look at this guy. What do we have here? Oh, that's from my town, Equipment Express. So tandem Jeep, single axle, a rigid Stinger, steel wheels, but nice deck, very, very shallow deck. Sometimes I wish I would have a, you know, deck like that, but that one is even heavier than mine. You know, like I always complain to other people and to myself about the weight, right? That my trailer is 7,000 pounds heavier with the same amount of axles as my previous 55 ton, but it's a 60 ton. You know, it's a very strong trailer. Like, remember that superstructure I did in August of 2020? The one that broke my booster? 120,000 pounds, 48 feet long, and I managed to load it on the bolsters. Like, the front was sitting on the deck, like where the big gear is, but there was so much weight on the rear, it's not even funny. And still, this trailer didn't crack, no damage. I don't know if this was if this had been a 55 ton, would it have survived that load, you know? So yeah, it's heavy, but what do you do, right? So, and so I don't wanna get it heavier than it is already. And the truth is, and I don't know if people understand this, but the lower the trailer, the heavier it is. Like, I'm talking about RGM, because to make it, let's say a 55 ton, right? So if you have a 55 ton, which is 20 inches, has 20-inch loaded deck height, it'll have, let's say, weight A. But if they give you an option to spec that trailer, let's say with 18 inches of loaded deck height, it'll definitely be heavier, because they have to use different beams, right? And they have to make them stronger, thicker. So it's just the nature of the beast. You win something, you lose something. And that's why I'm stuck with this trailer, which has a loaded deck height of 22 inches. Yeah, I see over here the fuel is 5.29 per gallon. On that side it was 5.35. So Pilot is actually cheaper than TA. Usually Pilot is more greedy. But I don't care. I know that at lunchtime I fill up both tanks with at 480 or 485 at that Exxon where I'm going. Basically it's a small town and it's just a few miles away from that agricultural dealer where I'm loading yesterday. And I checked the reviews. The reviews are nice. They say good parking lot, no Luna crater, potholes, you know, good food. So I'm gonna stay there. I already did my bill of lading. Now I just need to create my invoice and print everything out, because they might ask me for my PO number, you know, pickup number. Yeah, that's it. 91 clicks an hour, 56 miles per hour. Okay, let's make that thing talk. Okay, yeah, so I need 88. I'm gonna turn on 88 and start heading northeast instead of staying on this 80 towards Chicago. Well, bye-bye Iowa. On the other side of that bridge, that's Illinois. And they have all kinds of cameras in here because I think there's a scale when you enter Iowa. I don't remember. Still very windy. So back across Mississippi River. Lots of carriers, you know, they use Mississippi River as a dividing line. Like they would say stuff like, we only stay east of Mississippi. You know, they don't want to go west of Mississippi. But I'm okay going to Iowa, going to Nebraska. But since now I have a quad trailer, right? So my trailer does not get too much respect once I get south, like towards Kansas, you know, Missouri. But over here, like Nebraska, they were giving me, last time, remember I had that big rail excavator. They gave me 20,000 per axle on all axles. Illinois is the same. They will give you a lot of weight on a quad, but basically as long as you stay here like closer to the north, there's lots of weight allowed per axle. But okay, somewhere here we're 88. 88, yeah, exit 4B. Yeah, here there's a scale. You see these cameras over there, and there's a scale built in the pavement. Actually, I went through one scale was open somewhere, I forgot where. I think it was Colorado or Nebraska, but it was just bypass, you know, because I'm empty. They tell you follow the arrows. Yeah, you see this one is not even lit up. Nothing on the screen. Closed, open, nothing.
Take exit 4B for I-80 East, Illinois 92 East for Sterling Rock Falls.
Because today is a holiday, so nobody's working. Okay, I think I need 4B, right? Yeah. 4B, and that one will take me north. And that will also change the direction of the wind relative to my truck. So I hope I'll get better fuel economy. And it's been very hot, so I have to drive with my AC on. So now it's 8:29, basically 8:30 local time central, and it's already plus 24 Celsius. As you can see, I'm wearing my shorts and a t-shirt. And my t-shirt on the front says HHTV, on the back it says Sergei Dratchev Heavy Haul. It's the same t-shirt you can order from my YouTube store. I like him. Okay, 88, 4B, half a mile, okay.
In 600 meters, take exit 4B for I-88 East, Illinois 92 East towards Sterling, Rock Falls.
There's a big loop, and then we're going that way.
Take exit 4B.
Yes, Miss Google.
Continue on I-88 East for 127 kilometers.
30-mile-per-hour curve. Yeah, if you push that button, basically it gives you either large scale or smaller scale. I usually, unless I need to know the maneuver where I'm going, I prefer to look at the smaller scale. Basically everything is smaller, which allows me to see more of my route. And the good thing about driving on a holiday is that usually it's not too many people on the road. Especially at 8:30 in the morning. So now we just follow this baby all the way to that Exxon truck stop I found. This is the very beginning of this 88. The mile marker was 0.6, which is pretty cool. So I like this when most reasonable states, you know, the exits are the same as mile markers, except New York, and I think there's another state. See, like mile 1, and then there'll be, you know, like it makes it so much easier for drivers. You know, let's say you know that you need exit, I don't know, 155. So that means that that exit is 155 miles away from where the highway started in that state, right? And usually when you, let's say you go east on I-80, once you cross the border, the mile marker becomes 0. So just makes it so much easier. But then some of these older states, they like using arbitrary system where exits are just numbers. And usually it's like 20 miles or so, you know. Like exit 6 would be 20 miles away from exit 5. I don't need that. Give me the mile marker, you know. Now that's heavy haul for you. Big Tex trailer. Oh, I think it became easier to drive. I think the wind is, at least for now, kind of like going this way a little bit. But I can see the top of trees bending, which usually doesn't happen. Usually it's just the leaves, right? But here the whole branches move, you know? That's not good. I'm at the top of Illinois on I-39, and here they run I-90 and I-39 run together. It's super busy. As you can see, lots of traffic. They're supposed to be coming back from the holiday. That's what they were talking just now on the radio, that the roads will get very busy after lunch. And actually that's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons why I started driving so early, even though I only had like 240 miles to do today, but I want to finish by basically ASAP. But I'm still 200 clicks away from my gas station where I want to spend the night. And where am I now here? Yeah, I just passed Rockford like 20 minutes ago. So coming up on Wisconsin-Illinois line. And as soon as I started going north, like what I'm doing now, check this out. My average, or actually more like instant, became 30 liters. Now I'm just crawling a hill, so it just went up to 30.2. 30 liters per 100 kilometers. That's 7.8 miles a gallon. Empty, with a weight of 60,000 pounds. So not too bad. So pretty much almost 8 miles a gallon. But as soon as I turn east or west, that south wind just kills my fuel mileage. Well, not kills, but instead of 30 liters, it becomes 32. I think I even saw like 32.9. And that's why I'm driving slow, just 91 clicks an hour. I have nowhere to hurry. I don't have to be anywhere until tomorrow morning. And what's funny is that this is not a holiday in Canada. And I just had a Canadian broker call me asking if I have a truck in the Iowa area. And I said, that's actually funny because I do have a truck in the Iowa area. But I said, I already have a loading tomorrow in Wisconsin. And she said, okay, no problem, thank you for talking to me. So yeah, it's not a holiday in Canada. Or maybe it's called something else. No, but it's definitely not called Memorial Day. I'm pretty sure Canadians are working, just like me. I drove full day yesterday, driving half a day today. Yeah, 30.0, 30 liters. And the blue ball is still to the left of that number, which means that I'm doing better than 30. Oh, 29.9. So remember, 25 liters is 9.4 miles a gallon. I only usually see that number when I'm bobtailing. But this time, because I was coming from that elevation, like I mentioned earlier, I saw 25 liters, 9.4 miles a gallon with this truck and trailer driving on I-76 from high altitude towards low altitude with a tailwind. All flags are at half-mast because of the Memorial Day and probably because of that awful shooting in Texas. Okay, there's a couple of truck stops here. It's time for me to stop because I've been driving for probably close to 2.5 hours. But I want to get out of this busy area, and I'm leaving I-90 as soon as I pretty much enter Wisconsin. I'm jumping on, I think it's 41. By the way, I got 3 ideas. I've been thinking about this, about these guns, right? I'm persuaded banning guns will do nothing, because people can use planes and cars, right, for terrorism. So that does not mean that we are banning planes and banning cars. It's the person inside that weapon or behind the weapon that's responsible. So I got a theory. I'm not an expert, but you know, I've been thinking about this, and I'm pretty sure that, yeah, guns don't do anything. It's the crazy people. And I think what causes these people, like, for some reason nobody's talking about this, but I'm positive it's all these crazy violent video games. Okay, call me crazy, but that's my deep belief. That's what's causing all this. Yeah, the guy was parked really close, and there's a guy working on the truck. You know, you gotta change lanes. And this guy in a pickup truck let me go. Thank you, sir. He slowed down to let me. Like, usually they don't do this. Usually as soon as you put your flashing light to indicate the turn, people speed up, because I always get very angry about this, you know, like, they pretty much make you stop using.
Take exit 185 toward I-43 north.
Yeah, see, this is Wisconsin. That's it.
Welcome to Wisconsin.
So bye-bye Illinois, hello Wisconsin. So yeah, most people just pretty much want you not, they make you stop using turn signals. Because if you don't use a turn signal, they drive like normal people. As soon as you flip on your turn signal, they speed up to close the gap which was there before. So it would be perfectly safe for you to change lanes, but now they sped up and you cannot do that. All because you used your turn signal. But so yeah, so the theory is, so it's violent video games. That's what causes this. That's what this idiot in Texas, when they were talking to his friends, yes, he was a big Call of Duty fan, and he played online, and that's where they kill people with guns that look similar to this AR-15, you know, in virtual reality. And that's what creates these monsters. So my idea was basically a three-prong solution. Don't ban guns, ban bad people. And how they can do that is I think it's this one. Yeah, 185. Is first, treat violent video games as drugs and alcohol. So they should not be allowed to be sold or shown to people under 21. Right? So I would restrict all these violent video games to people above the drinking age. That's one. Number two, the same people under 21, when they want to buy, when they want to buy a semi-automatic gun only, they should be treated as suspects, and they should undergo a very deep background check, and they should be required to produce at least 3 references. Right? You want to buy a regular gun, fine, but you want to buy a semi-automatic weapon, you gotta go through this check. So no video games if you're under 21, no violent video games, no semi-automatic weapons under 21 if you cannot pass that background check and you cannot provide 3 references. And number 3, what was the third? So video games, 21. Yeah, basically, yeah, raise the buying limit, age buying limit for semi-automatic guns like AR-15 to 21. So that's my solution. So raise the age limit for semi-automatics, do background checks if you're under 21, willing to buy a semi-automatic. No, actually, wait a second. If you're under 25, let's make it like that. If you're under 25, willing to buy a semi-automatic, you go through extensive background check and have to provide 3 references. But you can buy the gun at 21. And number 3, ban video games for people under 21. I know usually I don't talk about politics, but this is just BS. You know how a guy picks up a gun illegally. And by the way, nobody know. I'm listening to all these news, like they're so stupid. It's so superficial. Nobody's asking questions that, for example, I want to know answers to. Like this guy in Texas, he worked, I think until a month before the shooting, he worked at Wendy's. How do you buy 2 brand new AR-15s when you're 18 years old and you work at Wendy's? That's what I want to know, because I went online to that website where he bought a gun from, one of his AR-15s he bought from this Daniel's Defense, I think it's called. And you see the guns right there, you see the prices. Of course, I cannot buy because I'm Canadian. Canadians cannot buy weapons in the States, but I was just curious how much they cost. And it's not exactly cheap. It's like, I think the cheapest one was like $17.50 all the way to like $2,800. So it's pretty much you need plus ammunition. So you need $5,000, I would say, for 2 guns. And he bought a lot of ammunition. Like, where does an 18-year-old get $5,000 when he does not even work anymore? Because I'm pretty sure he quit or they fired him or something. But even if he worked at Wendy's, like I don't think you can afford, you know, to spend $5,000, you know. I don't know. But all these news outlets, it's just boring, you know. They don't ask the proper questions. They don't look into reasoning. Nobody's talking about violent video games, between the connection. Oh, nobody knows the reason why he shot all these kids. Oh, really? Like, was he watching Call of Duty 24/7? Oh, yeah, okay. So maybe that's where you should start looking. Like, I'm telling you, I would make such a great reporter if I was a reporter, because I would look like what I would want to know as a listener or watcher, viewer of this show, what I would want to know as a normal person, right? I want to know answers. Like, give me some answers. But most news channels are just, I think the best one I found out of all these is not even based in the States. It's BBC. BBC is much more interesting because they go into depth, they ask the questions, you know, and I believe like I can trust them, you know. I like BBC. Not a big fan of the accent, but the content is good. Now, did you see this guy? He passed me and right away he went into the right lane, right where there's like already double and triple signs that say right lane closed. That's how most people drive. He's daydreaming about his next bike or his old girlfriend or where he's gonna stop to take a leak next. So he's not paying attention. I looked at the e-log. I drove 3 hours 15 minutes without stopping. So I want to stretch my legs. And the way I do it, I use my kettlebells. I just do a couple exercises, you know, like I find that it's very helpful after driving, not at the end of the day, but when you just, you know, stop and just spend maybe, you know, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. That's what I find makes me feel so much easier, you know, after driving. Squats. By the way, that's a 80-pound kettlebell. 28 kilos. No, wait, more than that. So 10 is 22. 10. No, wait, 22 is 10 kilos. What is that? More than 36, I think. And my favorite next exercise is bent row. This is very useful for when I work with chains, the same kind of movement. Okay, I just did the oil change here at Love's. You know, stopped here for lunch. This was my first break, right? And then I saw that they have a shop in here. And I took the neck with me. Oh boy. I think once somehow, I remember I was able to do it. Basically create a gap between the fifth wheel and the body. But now it doesn't want to do it. And if I raise it, it just tilts. Well, we'll do it later. Yeah, because they grease everything, right? They grease, but because this is so much faster to separate, to detach, I usually just keep the neck. Сели листья с тополей. Truck there. There was no waiting, no lineup, you know, because of the holiday. So I got lucky, except it was pretty expensive. Pretty much probably what I would have paid in Canada. So 411 bucks US. And it's not even a fully synthetic oil. It was D-Low. W30. Okay, from here I only have 138 clicks to pretty much like 90 miles to go towards Milwaukee and then north and northwest, and that's where I'm gonna shut down, fill up both tanks, and my shipper is 3 miles away. A very good location of the truck stop, you know. Right where I need it. So truck is freshly greased. I wanted to do this time, I wanted to do a 30,000 kilometers 30,000 kilometer interval, but with all this excitement in Colorado, I only did it now 7,000 kilometers later, so 37,000 kilometers. Like 40,000 is usually when I used to do it. That would be 25,000 miles, but you guys were complaining that it has to be done more often, but actually that's not what Cummins suggests, you know. Cummins goes based on miles per gallon. Yeah, it's a bit tricky over here. Like to go north towards the freeway, you cannot go this way. There's no left. There's no left turn. And the sign says, you see 67 north this way or I-43 north. Oh, check this out. My kind of place, Mopar.
Take the next left onto West O'Connor Drive, then turn left onto South Lincoln Street.
Mopar, which means this is a Dodge dealer. Yep, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. No outlet. That would be a cool place to park your truck here, but there's lots of space. Oh, check this out. Challenger RT, but that's just 5.7. Oh, I'm guessing they have lots of deals on Memorial Day here. A yellow tent, sales are going on. You know what I love to buy? another vehicle, like not a replacement, but like a second vehicle, if I could afford it. Like, but that would be my dream. Since I already had a Challenger 392, and now I have a Charger RT57 with these mods, and actually I like it better. It's more a four-door car, is more convenient, easier to get in and out, you know, all my bags and stuff like that. But I love trucks, and what I would love to have is that crazy TRX with a supercharger. That's, I think it gets, they were saying on YouTube, they were saying it gets like 8 miles a gallon or 7 because it's so heavy, and it has a 600 whatever 705 707 horsepower, but it's equipped like a regular truck, you know, like huge tires, you can go off-road. Okay, I think it's this one. I'm watching a guy on YouTube where he has a Ram truck, like a regular Ram truck, and then he has like a 1500 Ram, and then he has a Charger 392 with 6.4 liter engine, and now he bought TRX. And I don't know about the States, but in Canada that's about 80,000 bucks Canadian. Just the TRX. But that would be a super cool, you know, vehicle just to go somewhere, maybe off-roading, you know, somewhere in some dirt roads. This is I-43 North, and so I'm gonna stay on this. I think then it becomes 41. Yeah, then I switch to 41, which goes a bit like this, northwest after Milwaukee. So today is an easy driving day. I got lucky with the oil change, very excited about that. Because I was thinking already, you know, to wait till I'm back in Canada. But that's another 700 miles. Okay, this is US 12. Like we went over US 12. And I like that maneuver, you know, when people pass you, like, that's really, when they pass you like this, to go in front of you into the ramp. Because the guys, you see, he had a boat, right? So he's in a rush to catch all that fish at 1:30 in the afternoon. Or probably he's coming back home, I'm guessing, because there's no fish at 1:30 the local time. He probably got up at like 3 in the morning, had a couple of beers, headed over to the lake, caught 1.5 statistical fish, and now 5 hours later he's driving back. So, oh, check out these guys. I see the ads everywhere. Carvana. You know, basically buy a vehicle online and we'll pick up your old car online. These guys are popular. Anyway, that's it. I'm gonna stop here because my camera is about to die. So thanks for watching. Happy Memorial Day, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll do this video later tonight. Ciao.